I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I would like to thank SoCA for having me, and just really appreciate being here. My name is Aaron Fein. I am an artist and an architect, and I'm going to share with you tonight a project of mine called White Flags. And it is, I think, fairly appropriate that I'm here in light of the earthquake in Haiti, because the project White Flags really was born out of tragedy, even though it is what I believe a message of hope. The tragedy that I was responding to originally was September 11th, about 8.5 years ago. And for me, I was a youngster. I grew up in New York, and actually blocks away from Ground Zero, what would become Ground Zero. And I just remember looking up at these towers when I was young, thinking if those ever came down, my family would be directly in harm's way. Very fortunately, they were not in harm's way, and but still the grief that I felt that day really was literally as big as the hole that left in the skyline. What happened for me after 9/11 in the couple of months was I sort of noticed something poignant about all the bumper stickers that I saw. Because at the time, I don't know if you all remember, virtually every car on the road had an American flag bumper sticker on it. And it was our solace. It's how we kind of comforted ourselves. It really was a sign of permanence. And really the motto that you heard a lot was, "These colors don't run." But oddly enough, what I started to observe was that they kind of were running, quite literally, just from exposure to sunlight and to moisture and to air. Over time, that red, white, and blue got fainter and fainter, slowly fading towards white, and that to me seemed ironic. The lesson for me there was this one of impermanence. Here the towers came down, this, as we see in Haiti, just the massive devastation that happens in a moment. And how do you really reconcile that with your day-to-day life? And obviously in a day you can, it takes time. But like I said, watching these flags, seeing what happened over time was this process of fading and this process of impermanence. What I ended up doing was learning to sew, and I started sewing white stripes to white stripes, starting from the ground up, and embroidering these stars onto their surface. And what I started to notice, building up these flags, these layers of opacity, was I was discovering a flag that had two meanings in it. And really the two meanings are, one, when light is reflecting off it, there really is no distinction. They're one. They're unified. They're white. But with light coming behind, they then get to see the national identities come through in silhouette. And to me, that was really very comforting. You can have this identity, you can hold on to this identity, but in times of grief, there was this ability to let go, to go from, yes, it's there, and yes, things may disappear, but I can persevere. I had started with the white American flag, and that just seemed fairly lonely, and it just seemed that this thing can't exist alone by itself. And that's really when the idea of White Flags was born, that this would be a project encompassing all the flags, that this project will be complete when there are 192 flags of all the UN countries. Now that's a fairly hefty task, which I'm undertaking, and as I do this, one of the real challenges, it's not impossible to make these things, but getting people to see it, because it's really critical for this project. Because I don't know if it's because I'm an artist and I'm a visual person, but I kind of feel like, in a sense, what we see, what we visualize in our mind's eye, tends to manifest in the world, become reality. And so my own piece of moving the ball forward really is this sense of sharing this with people, so that people can see this as what I think is a literal vision of peace. And then they can hold that in their mind, and they can recall it, and then they can share it with others. And it's just that idea that I feel like if I can spread that, then I can, do my part in, spreading peace. So I hope that these flags don't just stay in this room tonight. I hope, I hope you're compelled by this. I hope you go look them up online. I hope you forward them to friends. There's a website, it's whiteflags.net, and there's a Facebook page, White Flags, 2 words, you'll find it. Check it out. Hope you suggest it to friends and spread the message. I would like to end on a note about the Haiti flag, which I see someone has right there. It's one of the few flags that actually has an inscription on it. And the inscription is, it's in French. I don't speak French. In fact, can someone else say it for me, because I don't know how it's pronounced?
The flag says "L'union fait la force," which means in strength what do you say? What is it? There we go.
In unity, there's strength. And if there's any one idea about this project that I hope you take away, it's that we're united. And that no matter the color of our skin, what we look at, like how old we are, there's really no difference between any of us, and we really all are one. So I hope you take that away, and I hope you enjoy the night, and thank you all for coming out.